Okay, just trying to give you some tech in this video. So this is some of the stuff to remove so you can pull your engine, the little 4-cylinder out. You got the radiator hose here. Of course, there's the radiator hose here at the bottom that's been gone. I pulled the heater one. The heater connects both here. There's another one that actually got broke off. My heater core broke, but it pulls out right there. Anyway, those came off. There's a couple other things. This is actually the power brake. It's gonna have manual brakes. So all I did was disconnect it from here. As far as the wiring harness goes, like I actually pulled all the wiring harnesses off, and everything I did, I marked. So this is actually came off the air filter, but each one had a different spot where they were marked from where they came from. I don't plan to reuse all these, but as many of the wires as I can use that I need to use, I will reuse. But like that fuel injecting stuff from this, I won't. But I just wanted to make sure I knew where every wire went. So when I go cutting them and getting rid of them, I know which one I should have kept. As a note, I also took off this. This is the throttle body. This right here is the wire for it. Now, I cut it back here, and it should be connected, but I cut it because you can't reuse it for what I'm gonna do with the V8. So that got cut, but this bolt right here was actually a ground wire. It's probably back in here, but yeah, that one. That's a ground wire. You might wanna keep that because it may be a ground for like one of my electronics inside the car, like maybe a turn signal or something. But the idea is to get everything off the engine electronic wise and radiator hose and all the other stuff so you could pull the engine out. So there's the beginning of it. There's a few more things that was left to get taken off. The exhaust has to be, I'm just gonna cut it. I'm not even gonna try loosening that bolt. So that's gonna get cut. There's also, this is weird about this S10, and I'll show you when the engine's out, but these are the fuel lines, which I'm having a hard time seeing. This right here is a fuel line. And down here is the other fuel line connector. I don't know if you can see it very well, but there's that one here, and then this one right here, which the lighting is not very good, sorry, right there. Those are two to disconnect. But which is strange is because the last one I did, the fuel was up here, like way down and buried right in this. So this one's in a different spot, which is odd. Anyway, those are gonna be removed, and I'm about ready to pull the radiator. Here's something else I did take off. This one, for whatever reason, this S10 has a power steering pump, which was connected here on the shroud. It got taken off. I'm gonna have to disconnect these lines because that's for the hose fluid itself. Because evidently, if you look what it did, the power steering fluid came through here, and there's a line that goes all the way across here. You can track it. What it does is it loops behind here and then comes back. It's their cooling part for the power steering fluid. That's what that's for. It's getting a manual power steering pump on it, or manual power steering box, so that's getting taken out. Anyway, done. Okay, here's another segment to the S10 tear down stuff. Remember, this is it. Get ready for the V8 swap. I took off this fender. I would recommend it. The inner fender is gone too. If you plan to work on this, because when I pull the engine, I'm gonna take off both fenders and the front core support, so the engine comes out easier. But it does help me with the videoing. So you can see some more wires you can take off. You can see that there's some coil wires here. They need to be taken off. There's a sensor here. They need to be taken off as well. And of course you get easier access to the motor mount bolts itself. Some of this other junk gets out of the way. But anyway, just giving you some more views of what to do. Getting this out of the way. I'm still marking the wires, as you can tell. I'll end up cutting some of these off that won't be used, because clearly I'm not using this on my V8, but it just gives me an idea where things might go and what's important or not. There you go. Update, got the engine out. Wasn't so bad. Just a couple notes if you guys try doing this by yourselves or on your own. See that exhaust pipe right here? Cut that thing off. I fought that, and it made a disaster, pretty much a pain in the ass, because it seems like it would snag on every little thing. So my suggestion is cut it off. I had bolted it thinking it would just drop, but no, it snagged on the transmission because I pulled it as one unit, like that. Just save me time. but it just snagged on every little thing. Next note, the starter is usually like right here. And if you notice, that's where the engine mount is. So I didn't take it off at first, but then I realized I can't go forward because it would hit this. So take off the starter before you start lifting. That's your other thing. Hopefully that gives you more insights. There is wires on the back of the engine. I forgot to mention too, that's these. These are the grounds. So make sure you take that off before you pull it. Same with this ground strap here.